Hi, my name is Dilip Menon, and this is really my first volume of poetry. Actually, it's not even a volume, it's a little book of poetry with 69 poems. I'm a historian and social theorist, and the reason why I took to writing poetry after a lifetime of writing doggerel and occasional scabrous verse is that COVID came upon us, and then there was the period of hard lockdown when we suddenly became aware of our own mortality and of time just filling our senses as we were at home with very little to do. So I sat down and wrote a poem a day. And the title of the book is a very bad pun indeed. It's called Vida, which is a pun on COVID and also a riff on the Latin phrase Vida life. So I hope this actually resonates with some of you out there. The publisher is Writers Workshop from Calcutta, one of the most distinguished poetry publishing houses. They've been around for 60 years. They have more than 3,000 titles, which is significant for a small press which was founded by Professor Lal, who used to teach English in Calcutta. So what I'll do for you is to read 5 poems to give you a flavor of the book. They're all short poems, so they won't be interminable, and you won't have to be checking your watch with glazed eyes. And what these poems do is to reflect on the days that were passing, incidents that happened outside. I turned 60 during the period of hard lockdown. And then when I wrote my last poem, I found that I didn't need to write anymore because somehow that fear of mortality had passed and nothing came. So I decided to stop. So hence the 69 poems. There's no significance to that number. So let me begin by reading the poems to you. The first one, which is number 21 in the volume. A puff of cardamom escapes the pouch. I see inside dark caramel of coffee, half an hourglass of bright burnished brass, redwood long handle, a metal hook, cold water, concave spoon of ground slow blue flame, brown breathy bubbles rise and fall, a flick of cold water, the tumult subsides. The second poem, number 24, was written on the passing of a very dear friend in the first phase of COVID, far away in Calcutta. I am in Johannesburg. And it has touched one of us, dear yet distant, while we sit at home, doors locked, shutters drawn, anticipating the end, not of life, but of lockdown. We have kept away from strangers, masked, looking askance, eyes narrowed, unsmiling. Yet the familiar stranger enters, beckons, and friends depart mid-sentence. The third poem arose from the kind of reading that I was doing at the time, from the Mahabharata and the Gita and so on, and this will be something that's familiar to you. It'll probably resonate for those of you who know something of Indian mythology. Though the king, he knew his days were numbered. It would be a snake seeking revenge for an intransigent sacrifice. Generations condemned to the fire, guards and serried ranks, an airless fug indoors. All threats at bay, yet sleep hovered on his eyelids. He reached into the basket of fruit. The worm turned serpent and bit. And finally, this is a poem that was inspired by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, the last poem in the volume, number 69. He stood, scanning 1,000 fronds of green, the inky grey sky arced upwards like a sheet of lightning, horizontal. White cranes rent the dark canvas. He fell in a faint. I heard this as a child, longed for such transport. Today at dawn, against a lightening sky, still grey, the peach flowers exploded in my mind. So thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this.